Have you heard about Anchor by Spotify? Anchor is the easiest way to create a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has all the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your mobile phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. It has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to the Zen Brain Podcast,
where we explore alternatives to psychiatric medication and strategies for conscious lifestyle change. Here's your host and philosophical entertainer, Michael Pierce.
Hello everybody, this is Michael with today's universal principle, which is, to the degree that we experience pain, sadness, or disappointment, is to the degree we expand our peace, love, and joy. And to back this, Kahlil Gibran said, the deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. And, I've got a lot of friends that there's a lot of divisions in perspective. You got a lot of people who are really digging into that shadow and really wanting to bring on the pain, and other ones are wanting to run away from the pain and seeking more love and light. Both ways are great, but I think it's worth at least stopping and considering that, as the axiom goes, as above, so below. The sadness or the sorrow and the joy are actually kind of opposite ends of the same stick. Alan Watts, describing duality, said you can't pick up one side of the stick without picking up the other. So when we do push, we do experience some of those darker phases, especially when we embrace it, it does allow us to open up to more joy. And lately there's been a lot of remarks and comments that I've seen from people that are saying, look, I'm just kind of struggling right now. I don't feel very good. I feel stuck. I've felt that way through the winter. And I think a lot of it's because of the solstice, because the sun is getting further, as the solstice climax, the sun and the earth are far away, the nights are long. And even if you think of how that would affect the body on a electromagnetic level and a gravitational level, potentially even having the sun a little bit further away, having the nights longer, and the symbolism of the 3 days of darkness and then the resurrection has a lot to do with the solstice and the sun rising again. And what happens after the solstice is the energy starts to be pulled up again through the earth and out the soil and towards the sun. And so spring and birth and renewal and all of that starts to happen. And that's what makes this time so, such something to celebrate. And we do it together. But I think some of the stuck feeling and some of the rough winter blues that people are getting, I think actually has a lot to do with that solstice energy, because it is kind of a dark, heavy, deep time. It's a great time to go in deep with yourself, but just know that when you feel that negativity, it does expand your ability to experience more joy. And on a comforting note, since we've just passed the solstice, it's shifting the other direction and moving towards spring, both in the way the earth and the plants and food grows and works, but also transpersonally the way our soul is going to experience, reality. There's a lot of subtle influences, and whether you look at astrology or you're considering where the planets are aligned, And whether you believe in that or not, it's beside the point. There are other things that affect your body and how you feel, and that's just the way it is. So I was thinking about how a lot of people have just mentioned that it feels like a hard time right now, at least a stuck time, kind of just a little sadness. At least me, I've been just kind of sad for some reason, and stuck feeling, and I've been hearing a lot of other people doing that. So either I'm projecting that out in the world and I'm hearing people say they're stuck back, or maybe it's just because we're all experiencing something that is happening with the solstice. But either way, it's comforting to know that when you are going through a hard time, it only means that you can experience that much more joy. So the declaration for this universal principle is, I accept myself as I am. Therefore, I accept you also, unconditionally, and am open to further understanding. You also might find you're judging other people too. When you feel crappy, we like to project that everywhere else, and it makes us feel better to think that it's somebody else's fault. So if you've been feeling kind of grouchy lately, and also find that you're blaming the people in your life, well, time to second guess that. And here's the affirmation or declaration again. I accept myself as I am, therefore I accept you also, unconditionally, and am open to further understanding. Have a wonderful new year, and thank you for watching. We'll see you on later videos, yeah, let's rock it in 2016.